What's up, everyone? So this is probably going to be one of the lesser known songs that I'll do. I know probably a lot of you that are subscribers maybe haven't even ever heard of this song. It's called Hold Me Down. And this is going to be a really interesting take on this because I've heard multiple versions of this song that Dave played throughout the late 90s and hasn't been played really since then. And there's only a few versions of it out there. The one that I'm going to be teaching you today is off the Live Tracks version with Dave and Tim, and it's probably the most well-known one, obviously, because it's Live Tracks version. And there's a lot of things you can kind of mess around with on this song. That's why I'm not setting everything in stone that I'm showing you. I'm giving you just the basic foundation for this song, and then you can just kind of use everything else however you'd like to. When you listen to it, he switches things up because I don't even think Dave ever had a super solid, super solid kind of path for this song. I just think he just kind of did what he wanted to do with it and thought it would maybe kind of build into something else, and it never really did. I love this song though. You can also hear Cigarette Lit, another tutorial that I did a year or so ago, is here in the end. So some of you might even already be familiar with that if you've done the Cigarette Lit tutorial that I've done. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. This isn't a hard song. Ton of the Dave chords in it, and yeah, it's a lot of that E and G string stuff that he likes to do. And I'll explain some little things that I want you to pay attention to on this song as well, that sort of contradicts other lessons that I've given you guys. So here in the intro, he's playing it real soft, and this whole song kind of builds as he gets into the chorus, and then slows back or quiets back down a little bit once it gets into this little part right here. So you'll see this chord in line our graves, and all we're doing is we have our forefinger here on the E string on the 10th fret, and then we're going to be on the 11th fret on the G string. And I want you guys throughout this song, I want you to pay attention to your, so this little part of your forefinger, or on your first finger, however you want me to say it, is going to be resting lightly on that A string so that you're not hearing that A string at all. It's going to be muting that A string, so you're hearing that open D, and then you're also hearing that G, that 11th fret G right there. Okay? And throughout this whole intro, we're just on the E and G strings. We're doing that same thing. Keep that A string muted, keep that D string open. And so we're going from there. Then we're just gonna go on the E and the G string on the 9th fret here. Now, what I was saying earlier that contradicts a lot of the things I've said, whenever I tell you guys, whenever y'all have seen any of my other ones of like Gray Street, Trippin' Billies, whenever we're using these Dave chords with our forefinger and our middle finger on the E and the G strings, I always tell you guys to utilize all four fingers when you're going up here. On this intro, don't do that. This one, you're sliding, you want that slide sound in this. That's how Dave does it. See, there's just that, you can hear just that little bit of a slide in there. That's what you want. If you're going, it's gonna get a little bit choppy. You want this to be smooth through here, okay? So then we're moving up, same thing, we're going on the 12th fret this time. Both fingers on the 12th fret on the E and the G string. Then same thing, just coming down here to the 7th fret, both fingers on the 7th fret, and we're gonna climb down our first finger here. Somebody got mad at me for saying four fingers, so I'm gonna say first finger. So we'll go from here to there, and your middle finger is still staying right there on that G string on the 7th fret, okay? But you're really emphasizing the bass note there. Okay, so that's gonna be the intro. And then also when he gets the really high falsetto, when he says, and then I run into the break, when he does that, then we're gonna come back, you come back and play that through on that part again as well. Okay. Then when he goes in to the actual verse, when you come down here, kind of making a G shape, G, D type shape down here. Has kind of a really cool sound to it. So, so what we're gonna do, instead of going down, so you're going through that intro, when you go into the verse, instead of going down to that 7th fret, you're going from that 12th down to this shape right here, okay? So we're gonna have our middle finger right here on that E string 3rd fret. Our first finger is gonna be over here on the E string 2nd fret. And then our ring finger is gonna be actually right here on the 3rd fret B string. So, you know, you almost wanna go like that to make that, but it's a little bit different. Then we're gonna go from there, we're gonna switch the middle finger to the E right here, and we're gonna bring this first finger up here to the D string 2nd fret. So it's essentially a D, but you're bringing this forefinger, it's a D shape with this forefinger up there on the D string 2nd fret, okay? Okay, so watch this. Okay. And that's gonna be every time you're playing through that verse. And like I said, there are some times that he changes things up down there, and it's very subtle. So if you stick with those 2 chord shapes, you should be pretty safe if you're playing along with the song. And then you'll hear him though, when he's singing the verse, instead of coming up here like this, he's just climbing up on that E string. That's all it is, just from the 9th to the 10th. You can kind of hear that, hold me down. He's just going. And sometimes I hear him stop, like on that 5th fret, on that E string. So it's kind of it's a slide. So it's like, and you're gonna hear that if you listen to it close enough. There's a little bit of a pause, but he's going. And I don't know if it's intentional sometimes on the way he plays that or not, but we'll go from there. You can even just bring it down to the 3rd. Again, a lot of stuff you can just kind of play with in this song however you would like. So, still that's the same shapes right here. And when he says, though I'm older, it's going. The very traditional, you know, Too Much, Gray Street, Trimbillies, chords that he uses a lot. And so that first one, we're just gonna be right up here. Again, these are all on the D, all on the E and the G. And you wanna hear the open D within that as well, as you're strumming. So we're just gonna be on the 5th fret, E string. We're gonna be on the 6th fret, G string. Then we're going 7th fret, E string, 7th fret, G string. Then we're gonna go 2nd fret on the E and G. And then this is very Trimbillies, Too Much, you know, to the. And so we're gonna be on the 3rd fret, E string, 4th fret, G string. And he stays on that through the end of that. So it's. His way, and he's singing that, and then you come back into again, okay? And that's the whole song. Like I said, there are variations within this song on certain versions that you're going to hear. I wanted you guys to get probably the most popular version, and make sure that that you're right on the basic chords. This is more of kind of an intermediate to advanced song. So if you intermediate and advanced guys, I'm assuming, should have the ear to be able to maybe pick out a few different things. I just wanted to give you kind of the basic skeleton of this song, and you can kind of mess with whatever you want from there. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's DMB Guitar Teach, and I always go over some very basic stuff. It's a good way to just kind of keep in touch with you guys, and answer any kind of specific questions or things might be giving you trouble. Instead of me, going back and checking through all the comments on these videos and stuff, it's just a little bit easier over there. So DMB Guitar Teach. And if you're not a subscriber on this channel, I'd love for you to subscribe. And hope you have a great day. Stay safe.